There's so many questions that you could walk out of this movie. Like, why did Nicolas Cage set the timer for the bomb for fucking like 4 days or whatever the
No,
hell it was? You know what I mean?
well,
Like,
just
why not
think about going back to the stewardess. It makes no sense because Nicolas Cage is a wanted criminal, and they're looking for him. Why are they going to embed an FBI stewardess with him if he's already a wanted criminal that needs to be arrested and goes to prison? Like, that does not make sense to me.
Yeah,
Because remember that they detected the brother, and like right away they were going to go and try to arrest him or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. How is he allowed to rent a, or like, yeah, how did they not just let him fly and then arrest him afterwards? There's so many ways they could have done that. I mean, yeah. And honestly, there's 100 ways they could have done things in the movie differently. Like, you know what I mean? There's a conundrum with even Nicolas Cage pretending to be John Travolta. I think they're two different heights as like
totally different bodies too.
Two differently a hairline. What, you know what I mean? I don't know. The hand sizes. How does the daughter or the wife not recognize that these are? I don't know. You know what I mean? There's so many.
Well, there's the other thing too.
There's that weird thing that John Travolta does too with his wife and daughter.
Oh, the face rake.
Compassionately does like this.
Yeah.
I touch your face. Obviously,
I called it the face rake.
Yeah.
And let's be honest. As soon as the wife takes off Nicolas Cage or John Travolta's pants, isn't that a dead giveaway right there as to what? You know, like doesn't she figure it out right there? I don't know.
Yeah, that would make sense, right?
Unless they replicated penises too. I don't know. But yeah, that's the one thing about this movie is like there's so many what ifs. What if? Why didn't you know what I mean? But I didn't question that much. I didn't like in the 90s. I was just a young lad, so I was just like, "Fuck yeah!"
Oh, I didn't question it at all.
Yeah, me neither.
It's not until I watched it now in my like 40s that I'm like, "Wait a minute here. This plot has so many holes. It's like Swiss cheese."
Like even the ending is questionable. Like I was looking at the ending, and his wife is just like patiently waiting at home. And now John Travolta is now in his body. It's like if it went down that way, the wife would be waiting at the hospital, like by his bedside after he got the facial surgery. She wouldn't be waiting in her own home, waiting for John Travolta to walk through the door.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Nicolas Cage is a vegetable, right? The whole time. And he gets up twice. And once he's not even like in restraints, this guy's like a wanted criminal, and the FBI is using this whatever hospital or whatever to switch them over, and it's not being guarded at all. And then he just walks out of there, and you know what I mean? I don't know. There's so many holes in the plot.
Okay, one big thing. Does this movie take place in the future? Because what's with this super magnetic prison place? Like this is not a. How is this contemporary to the 90s? Like they never give us any information that says this is taking place like far ahead in the future or something.
That's true. Yeah, that's a really good point.
Yeah. And what do you do if you have like a pacemaker or you have like one of those like needles in your elbow to keep your shoulder on or whatever? You know, are you constantly like being weighed down because the metal in your shoulder? I don't know.
Yeah.
How does that
work? Yeah, that's a good point. Oh, of course, there's you can tell the John Woo style of the film too, with the obligatory random dubs flying by when they're in the middle of a gun battle, and the Mexican standoffs and the wire foo. I noticed when I rewatched it this time, one thing that I didn't notice last time is that they did a bad editing job, because I could actually see one of the wires when one guy gets shot by Nicolas Cage and flies back.
Yeah, that's
Oh
probably
yeah, I
one.
was like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
One of my favorite parts is when Nicolas Cage Max Payne's himself outside of the the airplane shooting.
Yeah, that's awesome. Those
If nobody knows
parts. Yeah,
well, what I mean by Max Payne, he basically like dives out of of a door, like shooting two pistols
in midair.
in midair. Yeah, Max
Yeah,
Payne.
yeah. I love those
Which
Max
I guess is
Payne.
a John Woo thing. I guess.
Yeah, yeah. I love those Max Payne / John Woo parts where they're jumping through the air, firing two guns in midair.
Like super practical.
Yeah, yeah. And
Yeah, there's just like the movie. There's a lot of impractical things that happen in the movie,
Yeah.
but done for the sake of like exaggerated action.
Yeah, yeah, basically, like it's so over the top. I love the fact that it's so over the top. It's so good. And of course, one of the main parts is like of this movie is Nicolas Cage's character being like a fucking crazy terrorist. So he does what he always does, which is he does a really great job of acting crazy in movies. Like he acts so fucking crazy.